Chip Zdarsky laid down a gem with Invaders #1, guys. Let's go check it out. For those of you not following Avengers right now, Namor has become a problem. And this book really helps going back and looking at the prior relationship that Captain America and Namor had with the original Human Torch and the Winter Soldier and all those guys working together against, or as the Invaders. Technically, I shouldn't say Winter Soldier, I should say Bucky, but you know what I mean. The story starts out with Namor, and he's in the middle of a fight in Europe during World War II. He's pushing himself to the limits. He's fighting and he's struggling because he's trying to do too much. He's going around, he's trying to save everybody. A guy he knows, Randall, gets hit and he's trying to save him. And guy actually says, hey, look, when's the last time you were in the water? Because something with Namor is if he's out of the water for too long, he dehydrates at an accelerated rate. And it's right after that we find out that basically he's pushed himself too far and it ends up costing the life of somebody he knows. And right after that, there's a big explosion. He's checking his friend, consoling him, and he's gone. And Namor he has the blood on his hands. He's feeling guilty. He couldn't save him. It's bothering him, and next thing you know, he's being picked up by Captain America. And all Cap can do is tell him, hey, soldier, it's okay. The battle's over. We won. And I really want to yank that weapon out of Bucky's hands right here. I mean, look at this. Come on, Captain. Get that guy straightened out. From there, we find that Namor is woken up, and he's having a reoccurring dream. And he says basically that this nightmare keeps bothering me. But I'm afraid that we're heading back basically to the same thing, another world war. The storyline then jumps to Captain America, and Captain America is actually being interviewed by the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond. Now, something that's pretty interesting here is that Jim Hammond, and Captain America calls him out on this, he's actually a cyborg, so he should have been able to record all this. However, Jim has to explain that, look, when I was created, I was programmed with something that was intrinsic to human beings, something that's really helps you be more human, and that's the ability to forget. Or it's natural. It helps, turns my memory. They fade like anyone else's, and it distills them. It helps people move on to reconcile their pasts and their future and what's happened to them. And it's the reason he's chronicling the Invaders and what they did during World War II. And something that's mentioned here is that how Namor in Avengers 9 had murdered a bunch of landwalkers, and it stirred up basically an international incident. But what this comes down to is ultimately Jim Hammonds is asking Steve Rogers as a member of the Invaders that, look, something has happened to Namor. He thinks he's at war again. I don't understand why. And Steve says, look, I'll look into it. I'll see what I can do. From there, we jump back to a flashback where Steve Rogers finds out basically that Namor, a kid that was close to him, one of the soldiers was killed, and that at this point, Namor doesn't intend to attend to the burial. So Captain, he goes up and he confronts him about it. He says, look, man, this isn't right. You should be there for them. This is by our customs. You should do this to honor them. And this is just a great Namor moment. He grabs a soldier, slams him against the wall, and Cap's like, what are you doing, Namor? And he says, look how weak you all are. I could crush this man's head like I would like you would open an egg. I run around your battlefields trying to protect bags of water from being punctured by other bags of water. Do you expect me to get attached to things so frail? Do you weep for dropped eggs? I'm here to stop these Nazis before they take my sea. And Captain just looks at him, says, drop him, put him down. He drops him. Namor stomps off. Bags of water. And that's it. And Cap he stops. He says, look, Tommy was your friend. This war's stolen your friend. I get it. But he can't steal your memories or your love you feel for him. And he tells him, hey, look, the burial at sundown. He's walking out. Then he pops his head back. Says, come pay your respects. You too, Bucky. And walks out. From there, we go to Namor, who is approaching Karis. Karis is basically broken away from the kingdom. He no longer serves Namor, and he's basically told, look, straight up, you got two options. You can either join me or you can die. My offer is that simple. Well, Karis thinks he's going to be cute and runs a blade across Namor's chest. Actually cuts him open. And Namor says, look, even the most forgiving of reigns, this punishment would be the same. And that is death. And that is when Namor splits the seas. He splits the waters and everyone falls around him. Because Namor now controls even the waters itself. Of course, after a display like that, Karis is a lot less likely to argue and agrees to assist him. From there, we do find out that Namor goes, he attends the funeral services for his fallen friends. But we also get a sense from the dialogue that something isn't right, that something just is not right with him. Because he says, yes, the sea has secrets and I am the sea. From there, we go back to Jim Hudson, the original Human Torch, who is meeting with Randall, one of the soldiers that was with Namor and saw him firsthand in the things the invaders were able to accomplish on the battlefield. Now, one of the things that Randall does is he asks him to take his memoirs, his photos, and some of his personal stuff because he believes it will help with the research. Well, his daughter isn't really having it and says, hey, these are kind of family heirlooms. Can we have them? Yeah, no, sure, not a problem. And he goes to hand it back over and some pictures fall out. And it's of Namor when he was in a period of time where he had amnesia. So, and Charles Xavier is there. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. And that's when we go to Captain America. Steve Rogers is calling Bucky Barnes and saying, look, man, this isn't an Avenger problem, and this is an Invader problem. And from there, we get this last shot, and I don't know what it means. At least I thought I didn't until I read the dog tags. When you realize that the name on the dog tags is the name of his best friend, his advisor that's been with him the whole time, him being Namor. And the two look up and they see him and they say, who's he talking to? And they said, the king is mad. So who is behind his fallen friend? Who is manipulating Namor, and what is going on? This is going to be good. This storyline is carried over from Avengers, and I'll probably go back and do some of the Avengers comics to get caught up with everything. I'm just it's do a review or not. I don't know. If I do them, they'll be probably quick. I'll probably do a couple issues at a time. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comics. Let me know what you think about Invaders, and make sure, like always, that you're subscribed. Every like you leave, every comment you leave, every time you share this, it helps the channel grow, and I sincerely appreciate it. So, final tally on Invaders. It's exciting. I love the way they showed Namor. I love the way they depicted the conflict within him, the unwillingness to attach himself to others because not wanting to experience loss, and experiencing loss and how the pain that is associated with it has basically caused him to distance himself from humanity, because we are so, as he said, we are so weak, we are so fragile. You don't weep over cracked eggs. And that's some deep cuts, man. It's really good, I think, and I'm really interested to see where they go with this. And guys, that's all I got for now. I appreciate you listening. Real Comic Stacks out.